Welcome to Mimi P LLC, where body safety and confidence are essential to mental health. I'm Mimi P. We've been talking about keeping our children safe and security, and we talk about bonding. But today I want to talk about the atmosphere, which I've talked about before. An atmosphere where one feels safe. I want to challenge you as a mother, as a father, grandmother, grandfather. We have to constantly try to get the children to feel that they are so loved that they can speak to us and to remove all fear and to even overcome fear and to deal with fear. One thing today is I want to say, have you ever thought about as a mother or grandmother, you can either play dress up or not. But the whole thing is have an atmosphere where they can talk to you. How about if someone is willing to dress up? To take them out for dinner, to let them know. But tell them to present themselves in a manner where if they were going as royalty. Not that I'm one pushing to think everybody is a queen, everybody is a king, as I'm helping to understand that they are of royalness from inside, how they should respect themselves and require others that they cannot. And if they do violate it, you're the one they come to because you're their protection. You're their covering. You're their safe spot. I today decided to just put my hair up a little bit. I do have on a little makeup. And you got your nails done. You got the little fancy earrings. My blouse got a little glitter to it. The thing is, some like to dress up very much, and I know some of them today just like to wear jeans, don't too much like to wear dresses. Just tell them to put on the prettiest blouse they have, or their favorite. You might think of one blouse as the prettiest, but they don't see it that way. Or it's pretty, but this is my favorite. Their favorite is what makes them feel safe inside. So let's do that. So what do you talk about? Well, how about making it a conversation of them first? What do they like? What kind of foods? What subjects they like? What do people say about you? Watch their interaction more than the questions that they answer. A child say, I get along in school okay, but they face sad. They just had a bunch of smiles and now their face goes sad. Let that be a way of you knowing there's an alert there, that topic needs to go further. It's up to you to your discretion and the child's if they go further right now. Sometimes it's best to pride in the moment. And then sometimes, because you know your children, it may need to be brought up later. But understand this is a time for just you two. You got 4 children that can't afford 4 different meals? How about just doing it at home? I see no reason why everybody think they got to go spend more money. Set the table up. Put a candle there. Make a young lady feel special. When they're small, you can have a little tea party and dress up. The thing is, you making them to understand who you are. Ask them, do you need a hug when they go to saying some things? They may say no. Give them a few seconds to get their thoughts together. And then ask again. Whenever you need a hug, I can give you one. And they may continue, or they may give up and give a hug. Children sometimes, we think of them as different, but no, they're not. We've just matured in different ways. And sometimes when you mature, you forget to remember things other than just what you want to focus on. We need to mature more in love and protecting our children. It should not be that when they're doing this abortion issue, they always got a fresh and new case to bring up where a child, and it's usually a female, offended by a male. But I want you to know there's also males out there who have been violated by a female, such as a babysitter. They were 15 and 16. And the guy might say, whoa, this is my experience. Yeah, they enjoyed it. But the problem is that babysitter violated your trust as well as your child's body. But today we're just focusing on getting with the other children. Got a teenage child that don't want to go nowhere with you anyway? Tell them, hey, let me just see what you want to be. Well, you don't even allow me to wear makeup, so why should I put it on today? I'm giving you an opportunity to show me how you would present yourself. Because how you present yourself is also very important. You want to build up their confidence to where they're important. They always talk about expressing themselves. Let me see. Hey, I even know of one uncle who took his niece out. The whole purpose of the dinner was for her to understand that she's important and how she should have a male treat her when they start courting. He wanted her to understand that he said he's seen some things that he just kind of want to give her some guidance. She liking boys. Who knows the story? Maybe he's seen her out with a boy when she wasn't supposed to be. But he said he talked to her about the importance that, hey, just because a boy like you don't mean he has the best intentions for you. Sometimes it really does help from another parent or from an uncle or aunt, a teacher, a pastor, a neighbor, to say something to a child that grasps the same thing you've been teaching them. Don't be upset. Well, wait a minute. I've been telling you that all along. Why did it take so-and-so to get that to you? We have to learn. We're a community. I'm saying, take them out. What is your favorite food? Ask them well in advance so you can get an idea. Seafood? Well, that's expensive restaurant. They got all kind of cooking shows and things like that. Or you can maybe go to the store or find somewhere we'll fry up some fish or whatever. Home is the coziest and the cheapest. But sometimes you want to take them out of that atmosphere. How about doing an outing? Some call it a picnic. I just call it an outing. Where you can take a blanket and lay it on the floor. On the ground, should I say. How about taking a blanket and just putting it on the bench? Because somebody said, I'm not getting down on that ground. Put it on a bench, both of y'all sit at different ends, and put the food in the middle. What I'm saying is, people come together and let their guards down often when we're eating. So I'm saying, let that be with your child. And also use this time, because in my book, My Body is a Sacrifice, it talks about dress codes. This is a great opportunity for you to discuss what the lines of boundaries are in your house. You don't want a 12-year-old walking around with no bra and the blouse that's hanging all down is see-through. She needs to understand that it's not proper dress because your brother's body doesn't recognize and understand. Don't get excited, that's your sister. The brain has to be trained and taught these things. Why do the boys get to walk around with no shirt on or the shirt on and all open? It's the thing about respect. Everybody wear tops. Don't look at people because you see it all over the TV and everything. Oh, a guy is sexy. A guy is cute if he got his shirt on. The videos have it on, the music videos. No, 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 no. One thing is, help them to understand what's yours is yours. Parents, I ask that of you. Some men say, I walk around this house, whatever, whatever. But that's not always needed for your daughter to see. It's not needed for her. She needs to set boundaries. You want to protect them. What boundaries? What order do you have in your house? Do the world dictate how things go? I hope not. Because they switching all kind of ways and things is getting real bad. Children think the only way they can get a mate is to dress half naked or the tightest things they can fit. And believe me, I wear those jeans. They may look a little snuggle, but they got room in them. They call them stretch. How about blouses? There are plenty of pretty blouses. Just a little longer in the back to cover up the backside. Some say, hey, I got a flat stomach. Let me show it off. What is your purpose? To draw attention. And when you draw that attention, how do you think they're processing it in their brain? When a boy look at a girl, teach your son. Just because she's wearing that, watch your thoughts. Just because she's wearing that don't mean you the boy she's trying to entice, to get attention from. Watch that word entice, because it's a little deeper than just attraction. But let them know some out there got some tricky little thoughts, girls and boys. And then some go so far and then realize, no, they don't want to go any further. Hey, the word no means no. These are conversations that you're having while you're there with My Body as a Sacrifice. With the parental and instructor guide to My Body as a Sacrifice, there's some bigger topics in there. How to watch out for family members that you thought you can trust and kind of find out they plotting to violate your boundaries. Then they're trying to shut your mouth. And the parental and instructor's guide to My Body as a Sacrifice is a portion there for you parents to ask yourself questions before you do. How comfortable am I? I don't say it in the book, perhaps, or maybe write down some questions. You don't know how to deal with this, you're nervous. How about you take time to write down some questions and slide the paper over to them for the answer? And give them time. Go to eat dinner. Tell them to be honest. And tell them they won't be punished, but they will be nurtured in correction. Which means I'm not getting ready to go home and beat you with no belt or switch. No, I'm not going to run and tell everybody your business. But what I want to do is maybe take you to some kind of counseling to get you some help. And don't be afraid, Christian community, to go get some help from somebody that's gone to school. The pastors may make recommendations. Ask. Or just look it up. The pastor don't need to know everybody's personal business. He has a personal life as well. But maybe the church, you can just inquire, call. You don't have to be there in person. Just make a phone call or send a letter. They don't need to know the details. They just need to know. You have a youth department. Why not suggest somebody make up some literature that they could pass out or have sitting there that people may know? Hey, that's a great thing for anybody that's listening. And as a youth director or a youth pastor, you may have some people there at the church that works for a company or something. Get their information. I do not think it's wise. You can do it sometimes. It depends on the person's character. If a situation has happened and perhaps someone works at children's services or at the children's hospital, that person be the one your child speak with. It depends on the relationship and trust that you have with that person. But I encourage any pastor out there, any leadership, to talk to those people in those areas. Have a meeting. Let people know they are obligated to protect people by not spreading their business. Marriage counseling, a lot of pastors don't deal with anymore. Some do, some don't. Because they feel like one person will leave the church or both will leave the church. Or sometimes they just found it very uncomfortable. But one thing is, when you get in pastoral counseling, it does come from the biblical sense of your faith. or whatever faith you have. But I'm encouraging you all to focus in on the children. Focus on who you date, how they get along with your children. You hear people say, well, oh, he don't like my children, she don't like my children. We have to, some people have said, the children will get over it. No, there may be a reason why your child don't like that person more than they just don't like them. What's the reason why you don't like them? Do you feel uncomfortable? Do they stare at you and make you feel strange? And then you watch your children with them. Look, you out at the baseball game, football game, or whatever. Is that man staring more at your child, whether it be a female or a male, than he watching the game? You go out to dinner. Yes, he pulls the chair out, but then now he wants to sit next to her and watch how they hold hands when they say grace. You can say grace without holding hands. Watch that female. Your son is getting older and he wants to walk around without a shirt, or how she wants to laugh and touch. These are hard subjects. But I just say, hey, this is the bonding that needs, that protection can be there. Don't forget that code. Give them a code. And listen, even if nothing ever happened to your child, and you learn how to talk to your child in a more caring way, that harsh tone does nothing but build a wall. You got to start with you to change it, to bring that atmosphere of trust in. That's just the way you always talk. Maybe you need to go get some help. But when it comes to the children, be stern. I do believe in correction. I do believe in the order. But don't be where they fear you and think that, oh, got somebody in the family you love and respect, maybe your mom, a grandmother, a sister, a brother. Tell them you're going to ask them a question. And you don't want them to get all riled up and go to trying to tell you about you, because they got issues they need to work out. But ask them, do I come across too harsh to my child when you hear me talk? But when you ask them that, say, I also want you to know, when you ask me that or answer me that, also check yourself. Because you may think you got it all right, and none of us do. I'm the author, Mimi P., of the book, My Body is a Sacrifice, and the Parental and Instructor's Guide to My Body is a Sacrifice. Remember, this video is about dressing up to talk about boundaries addressed, also into building up confidence in why you wear what you wear, and also an opportunity to let them know you love them and want to protect them, that they have a right to feel safe at home. And it expands to going to school, daycare, in the neighborhood, wherever. The church, we want them to be safe. Let us protect our children. I'm Mimi P. Have a good day.